Mayor, big day yesterday.
Yes,
Thanks
indeed.
for taking the time
My
to
pleasure.
talk with us about this. So can you talk about your vision for the area and what are your plans moving forward to make sure this plan is a reality?
Well, we've been talking in the community, talking to the team, talking to stakeholders for the better part of 10 years on why it was important for DC to reclaim the RFK site, almost 180 acres on the banks of the Anacostia River, and been talking about how important it was to bring our team home. So I'm just very pleased that after many years, lots of planning and engagement and crafting a incredible deal for the city, we've made that announcement.
And can you talk about how binding this exclusive negotiation agreement is? Is it strong enough in your opinion that you can get this to happen in the time that it needs to become a reality?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean, but when the NFL commissioner sits next to you, next to a team owner, and they pledge their commitment to deliver for the team and the fans and the city, it's all of us putting our word behind what we know is best for the city.
And given some of the stipulations regarding the council needs to approve certain measures here, did you go to the council first to ensure the votes? We saw that there were 4 council members there yesterday. Not everyone was a firm 100% we're going to vote on this. So did you go to the council to get the votes, and how many people are on board at this point?
We have great support in the council, and I'm looking forward to advancing our legislation with the 26 budget and getting a firm approval. When you have a transformational, largest ever private investment in the District of Columbia, the council would drop the ball if it didn't do its job and vote for this proposal. Now, my job as mayor is to go get opportunity, to create opportunity, to make deals. And it's the council's job to review those deals and approve those deals. And so we each have a role to play. And we think when the public sees that we have the greatest private investment, when they look at stadium deals across the country and recognize that we actually have the lowest public investment percentage of any of them. And when they see the jobs created, 16,000, and the taxes generated, almost 20 billion, they know that how important this is. But one of the biggest things I want people to think about is we invest in public land all the time. We did it at the wharf. We're doing it at Walter Reed and St. Elizabeth's. But RFK will start, it'll get a head start with an anchor, which means we'll get to delivering housing faster, recreational opportunities faster, and benefits for the city even faster.
And for, like, say, the council chairman, for the council members who have said, why should we have to foot the bill? And for the community members who have said that, why is this the way to go?
Well, I recognize that you've pointed to naysayers. Why don't you point to the council members who support it, like Council Member Wendell Felder? And you know what he says? It's Ward 7's turn. We've invested in the revitalization of the downtown. Last year, the council voted unanimously to invest $515 million in the Capital One Arena. So now that it's Ward 7's time to invest in the Anacostia River's revitalization, some would say no.
And he was our firm yesterday when we were talking to him. He was the one council member who we could get to say 100% yes, I'm going to vote for this. Some of the council members were wanting to say, we're supportive, we want to wait to see what the terms
Well,
are.
I would expect that they would. That's their job, is to be fully briefed. But let me also be clear, I have briefed the council members all along the way, including the chairman of the council. Keep in mind, this is no secret that we've been going after the team, and certainly none that we were trying to get the RFK Stadium for the purposes of redevelopment. And everyone also knows that we've been engaging with the team on those deal terms. So I was on the council. I chaired the Economic Development Committee, so I know that a council member is always going to make sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and that the community is getting a great benefit. But the council has a choice. In 2030, we can have a kick-started RFK development with a revenue generating NFL sports team, or we could have a bunch of meetings about what should happen there. And I choose to grow the city and advance a positive agenda.
And going off of that, if you can talk about what assurances do you have from the Harris Group right now that when all is said and done, if we can get the council to pass this, that they won't pull out? In Philly, they did that despite getting council approval.
I don't think you ever have assurances that deals don't fall apart. But what you proceed, and you proceed in good faith. For us, it won't be a loss. It won't be a loss of time, because the planning that we're doing to get ready for the stadium is the same planning that we would be doing otherwise.
And do you expect to be able to get the council to vote on this by July 15th?
I do, because the council was working very feverishly on its budget, and it's going to be very important that the deal advances or it would fall apart.
And going off of that, do you have any updates on when you expect to get your budget to the council?
We have offered the council the preview of all of our documents, and the CFO has agreed to it, and the FY26 budget will proceed when the FY25 decisions are made.
And if you can talk about, we're talking about the community. We've gotten a bunch of responses from the community, and there have been several folks who have said, we understand putting in some taxpayer funds to get this done. We're investing in our community. And there are some folks who can't quite grasp around, well, why should the taxpayers have to help foot the bill when these are billionaires? So if you can explain the reasoning and the logic there.
Well, I've been here long enough for the argument that people made not to support Nats Park, where the Washington Nationals play. And Nats Park was funded almost exclusively with taxpayer dollars, nearly 100%. Today, you would find very few people who think the district didn't do a good thing by investing in Nats Park. It created a new neighborhood. It's paid off its bonds 10 years sooner, and it's transformed that area, creating jobs and economic development opportunities. Similarly, no one would suggest that we shouldn't, Abe Poland and Marion Barry shouldn't have partnered to create a downtown sports arena, or even that we invest $515 million just last year to keep it here. So these are, the city has a rich and successful history partnering with sports franchises to create economic activity. The bottom line for us is that we have to invest in our future. Our economy is changing with the potential loss of 40,000 federal jobs. We have to create new economic opportunity in our city.
And if you can explain a little bit, I know we have separate budgets, it gets a bit in the weeds, but I think some folks in the community may not realize we have the capital budget separately, and those have to go toward capital projects. Because there are some folks who, we see lots of responses on social media, and they've said, we're facing some budget crises right now. Why can't we use this money instead toward addressing that, toward making sure we don't have to have furloughs with what's going on Capitol Hill right now, with them, basically the standstill that we have with DC's budget.
What I'm proposing for 26 has nothing to do with what the Congress is doing. The Congress created a crisis, not us.
And I should rephrase that. I guess the question is, there's a little bit of a disconnect with folks who, they hear taxpayer dollars and they're concerned with everything going on. And so again, if you can just reiterate the reasoning of why you feel this is such an essential investment for us to go this route, as opposed to, say, personal seat licenses, to use that to help fund things.
Seat licenses will be used to help fund things.
And if you can kind of explain that, because it had mentioned selling the seat licenses to, I believe it's called Stadium Club?
Rebecca, I do not intend to give you like a briefing on kind of stadium financing, but I'm happy to have all of our finance and deal teams do that. This is a $3.6 billion project, and while I know how much seat licenses generate, and I could give you all of that, I don't think that's what DC residents want to hear from me. What they know is that I have kicked the tires on all parts of this deal, and that this is the best deal for the District of Columbia. And when you compare it to any deal across the nation, and when you listen to experts talk about it, they say, wow, I cannot believe the team is making that type of investment and that the city is getting that type of deal. Seat licenses do not pay for $3.6 billion stadiums or help generate that type of revenue. So that a fair share is us investing in the horizontal development that needs to happen, which we would do anyway. If there was no stadium there, we would be doing that. That's what we're doing at St. Elizabeth's. That's what we're doing at McMillan. That's what we're doing at Berry Farm.
And what are your hopes for the area? And again, if you can reiterate, how confident are you that this is going to happen?
I'm very confident. Listen, I've been at this a long time. I've shepherded a lot of development projects, and I've done a lot of good things for the city, and I've been in a lot of fights. Nats Park was a 7-6 vote. It was a fight, but it delivered. And for the same kind of things that you're talking about, why are you spending capital dollars? Do you know what our capital budget is? It's $10 billion. This is $500 million out of $10 billion. Do you know how many schools we fund in that $10 billion? $2 billion worth. Roads, $2 billion worth. The economic development is actually a smaller slice of the pie, but the one that generates more revenue.
And how did it feel? You said yesterday this has been a 10-year process throughout your whole time as mayor. How did it feel to get to this point?
I'm proud that I have delivered on a promise that we made to reclaim that land. Which was our first priority, and to be able to advance the fastest and shortest route to productivity that's going to turn around jobs and opportunity for DC in the fastest way with a built-in anchor.
My time is wrapping up. Is there anything else, though, that you'd
Nope,
like to
that's
add or
it.
reiterate?
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time.
You bet.
I will